legs crossed like I'm wearing a dress. You have to like either cross your legs or your ankles. But if you don't act like that, people might say something or like act more ladylike or something like that.
Do you feel like you have to act a certain way because you are a male or female? If you don't act that certain way, what happens?
I feel like you do have to act a certain way. Like males should be more like strong and assertive, and females should like need that. If you don't, then you probably just get called out.
Do you feel like you have to act a certain way because you are a male or female? If you don't act that certain way, what happens?
Sometimes. And like what happens? I don't know, people will start like judging you maybe. I don't know. What am I supposed to say?
Do you feel like you have to act a certain way because you are a male? If you don't act a certain way, what happens?
I feel like at times a person could feel like that. I feel like that's more more focused toward like females than males. I feel like there's still like gender roles, even though there shouldn't, there still are. And I feel like the like consequences, or not consequences, but like if you don't act the way you should, I feel like I guess consequences is the right word, is like diminishing as we see some of the stuff that's happening, like some of the movements that are going on right now.
To act a certain way because you are a female. If you don't act a certain way, what happens?
Oh, for sure. Like, I don't know, a lot of times I feel pressured by, like, the way that I dress. Like, forced to, like, dress more feminine.
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult because, like, I love sweatpants. But, like, people kind of, like, look at you weird if you wear sweatpants, and it's, like, not wintertime, and it makes me sad, because, like...
I'm comfy.
Yeah, exactly, but...
Do you feel like you have to act a certain way because you are a male? If you don't act a certain way, what happens?
No, I don't feel that I have to act a certain way as a male. I tend to really disregard typical sexual roles. I tend to be very nurturing, and I really enjoy being around young children, so that's a nice thing for me.
Do you feel like you have to act a certain way because you are a female? If you don't act a certain way, what happens?
Okay. I think we've come a long way in terms of gender roles and gender expectations and gender stereotypes, although I don't think we're 100% gender neutral either. I think because I'm a girl, there's expectations for what I do and what I don't do, and I'm seeing it more and more now that I'm a mother, that I'm expected to be very nurturing and caring and primary caregiver, and it's an interesting dynamic working here with Mr. Manning. You know, we work the same hours, we have the same job, but I think there's this expectation that I'll do more. And it goes back to things like maternity leave, where I get time and Mr. Manning doesn't, and kind of roles you establish really early. And I think society would be really critical if I wasn't fulfilling that role. Like if I was constantly leaving the baby with Mr. Manning to go, I don't know, do my own thing. I think very judgmental. On the flip side, though, I think society is getting a little more critical of dads and expectations of dads as well in terms of that gender role. Like, Mr. Manning also couldn't just, you know, leave the baby with me all the time and go do whatever he wants. They would be critical of that, too.
Have you ever felt discriminated against because of your gender?
Yes.
When?
I don't know, like... if you're not doing something that you're supposed to be doing because you're a female. I don't know a specific time though.
Do you feel discriminated against because of your gender?
I do not.
Do you feel discriminated against because of your gender?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, at work,
Where do you work?
I work at Supercharged,
Okay.
which is NASCAR,
Okay.
and they put the guys on the track to like work on the carts and get people in the carts, but they let the girls do the customer service stuff. And like I asked to be in customer service, and they said no, we usually have that as a girl position. And I was like, okay.
Do you feel discriminated against because of your gender? It's because of your gender.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, do you want, like, a specific example?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Definitely a lot in sports. Like, I was told I couldn't play certain sports because I was a girl, and that sucked really bad.
I'm trying to think of like an example. Or like when we were little, and then people would be like, "Oh, you throw like a girl, you run like a girl, like stop overreacting, like man up." Yeah.
Man. Do you think men and women are more open to discrimination?
What do you mean by that?
Are there any daily struggles due to your gender on a daily basis?
I don't.
Do you encounter any daily struggles due to your gender on a daily basis?
No.
Encounter any struggles due to your gender on a daily basis? Do you encounter any struggles due to your gender on a daily basis?
No.
Do you think men or women are more open to discrimination?
I think women are because, like, if they don't act like ladylike or something like that, then a lot of people will call them out for it.
Do you think men or women are more open to discrimination?
I feel like women are more open to discrimination.
Do you think men or women are more open to discrimination?
I feel like women are more discriminated, and I feel like, however, the gap is closing, which is good because nobody.
Do you think men and women are more open to discrimination?
What do you mean by that?
Like, which one do you think gets
Women,
harsher?
probably. Well,
I think nowadays it's more
well,
50-50.
actually, yeah.
Because now a lot more men can act more feminine, and a lot of people take it the wrong way, and they get really upset by it. And I think the same kind of goes for women, like vice versa. So I think now more 50-50, but in the past probably more women.
Yeah, no, I get what she's saying, because like if a guy's acting feminine, they're called gay, or like it's just different, and people make fun of them for it.
Like guys can wear makeup now.
Yeah.
Do you think men or women are more open to discrimination, and why?
Well, I think that women are much more open to discrimination because they're still struggling for equal rights. Like, we've come, again, a long way, but, the right to vote didn't come until the 1920s, and there is still this expectation going back to the role of mothers and fathers that women tend to be more the primary caregiver. So I think until that role finds more balance, you're going to see discrimination when men can work any job they want, and women need to take off this time to have a child. And in the U.S., childbirth is treated like an illness. Like, I had to use 6 weeks of sick time to stay home with my son, whereas in other countries, you're given more time to successfully start your family. So I think because of that, there's I guess discrimination just kind of built into the system.
Do you think men or women are more open to discrimination, and why?
I think it's probably a 50-50 split now. I would say generally women probably face more discrimination, like in the workplace and stuff, but I think now there's sort of a lot of stigma towards men, and they have to be very buttoned up and very they have to sort of watch what they say, how they act, a lot more so than women can nowadays. But so I would say 50-50 is probably.
Are more open to discrimination.
Wow, that's a great question. I think that in my life, I've seen more discrimination towards women than I have towards men, but I think that that's changing. I think it's more of an equal playing field now. I can recall when my mom was first entering the workforce, she was qualified as an architect but didn't make as much money as other male architects. So yeah, there definitely struggles with gender as far as income and things like that, but I think there is a more even playing field now.
Do you think men and women should be open to do what they want and not be held to specific gender roles, and why?
Yes.
Why?
Why?
It's 2018 Symphony.
Well, why? Jeez. Because we should be able to do what we want to do. Who says, I don't know. I don't know what do you need a why for?
Okay, thanks. I think men and women should be open to what they want to do and not be held to these specific roles. Why?
I believe so because at the end of the day, everybody's a person, and no matter if you're male or female, you should be able to do whatever you want to do.
You tell them. Okay. Do you think men and women should be open to what they want and not be held to these specific roles? Why?
I think they should be open to do what they want because like they should be themselves and they shouldn't have to try to conform to certain gender roles.
Men and women should be open to do what they want and not be held to these specific roles. Why?
Yes, because like nobody should be able to tell you you can't do something just because of who you are, and you can't change that. So you shouldn't be able to be. You shouldn't have to be told what to do based on something you can't control.
Do you feel like men and women should be open to what they want to do and not be held to these specific roles?
Yes, I believe that women have the right to take on any job at all, anything from construction to military service, all the things that would be traditionally male-oriented would be open to women. As far as men go, we've always been in the ascendancy, so that's never been a real issue for males in our society.
Do you think men and women should be open to do what they want and not be held to any specific gender roles? Why?
Absolutely. First of all, we're all human beings, and we're all different. And I think that with that being said, we should all be able to act the way we want to. I mean, I'm not going to come to school wearing a tutu, but if I chose to, I think that I should be allowed to do it. And again, I'm not going to do that. I want to stress that. But yeah, I think that as human beings, we should all respect each other for the people that we are, not the gender that we are.
Thanks. Woo!